So good morning, everybody. Or good afternoon, good day, wherever time of day you're tuning into us today. We're the Ontario PSW Association. I'm Ian De Silva, Chief Operating Officer, and I am joined here today by our partner and valued friend, Andy Kovacs of Moments of Truth Insurance. And Andy and I are going to be talking a bit about the importance of, and I know we talk a lot about insurance, but why insurance is so important, and specifically specific types of insurance for the personal support workers. So I'm going to introduce Andy. Andy, can you just tell us a bit about what you do, just to introduce yourself to those who may not know you yet?
Okay, well, hello, everyone. For the last almost quarter century, we've been helping good people in Ontario and across Canada be okay in their financial moments of truth. Now, what are moments of truth? Those are times in our life where we ask, "Am I going to be okay?
Right.
I just broke my arm or leg. Hey, am I going to be okay? Is there going to be enough money to pay the bills, keep the family running, that kind of stuff?" And for the past, gosh, almost 2 years, we've had this amazing partnership with CanSWA and OPSWA, and to help our frontline healthcare workers be okay, because you do so much for all the grandmas and grandpas out there that you know what, this backs you and your profession up when you have those moments yourselves.
Absolutely true. So I think, and then that's exactly the entire premise of why we exist, as one of the major reasons is why we exist in association and
Mm.
why we're trying to connect some of these things to the population. So we're going to have a bit of a discussion going through. First of all, the one thing that we got to talk a lot bit, we're primarily this discussion is really going beyond WSIB. So most PSWs working in long-term care, home care, now more group homes as well. You're starting to see WSIB playing a big role. WSIB helps cover if you have an injury at work. There's a process in place. Your employer makes contributions, which are matched through payroll, but it's generally there to insure workers against a workplace injury. Now, it is important for work-related injury or illness, and loss of earnings may replace up to 85%, subject to 85% of pre-injury take-home pay, subject to WSIB rules and maximums. So that sounds good. But we're going to talk about why there's gaps there in a second. On the surface, that doesn't sound bad, but there's something about this we need to talk about. Um, Approved benefits can include healthcare costs, treatment costs, return to work support, benefits, or permanent impairment. So there is a range of things that WSIB is there to protect you with. Um, However, when we come to the membership that we have at the association, a lot of our issues are finding that PSWs, even with SWSIB, are finding themselves falling behind. We have a lot of people who may not have coverage, who've fallen through the gaps. And what happens, for example, if your injury occurs outside of work? There's a lot of gaps we've been seeing. So, speaking of coverage gaps, that takes us to the next part. So, uh, Andy, I'm a PSW hypothetically. I'm not officially, but if I'm a PSW working in, let's take a hospital or long-term care setting, I've got WSIB. Where's my gaps?
Hey, that's great. And you know what? WSIB provides that first layer of coverage. But you know what? We've heard from the PSWs that have contacted us, and as you had mentioned, the ones that are talking to you is they've expressed concerns about claims, right?
Right.
Processing it and approval time. So I think it's very important to remember that WSIB, first and foremost, only covers you if your employer subscribes to it, right? So if you're working at the hospital or the old age home, and it only covers those accidents or illnesses that happen on the job site.
Important distinction. Yes.
Exactly. And then there's a whole process to get through from claim to actually getting money in your pocket, right? So it may pay out, it may not pay out, but it's a long process. And all the while, you know, rent still has to be paid, food
Exactly.
still has to go on the table. And if you are an independent contractor, which many PSWs are, right? They're one person show, maybe working for several people privately,
Or agencies.
WS or agencies, it does not cover you, right? So
Very.
what happens when that accident doesn't happen at
Well,
work?
that's what I was going to ask you. So let's just
Yeah.
say I get home from work and I
Mm.
I trip and fall, or I'm climbing a ladder. We've had this discussion, you and me personally.
Yeah.
So I'm climbing a ladder and I get injured. WSCB is there for me, right?
Nope.
But I'm paying for
No,
it.
it did not
Oh,
happen at work. So if you
oh,
do
right.
slip on that banana peel at home and break a bone or otherwise injure yourself, WSIB doesn't even come into the picture.
Wow.
But when your shift eventually ends, your risk of having an accident doesn't. And that is specifically where OPSWA accident and insurance is fully independent of not only WSIB, but any other coverage that someone may have, whether that's through auto insurance, whether that's through private insurance, if you're fortunate to have that. So completely independent, and it is 24/7 coverage on the job, off the job. Now, it doesn't replace WSIB if you do have it, but it just adds that other layer of protection. And then for those that don't have access to WSIB, that is your number one source of protection.
And that's an excellent point. And I think a lot of PSWs, frontline healthcare workers, are not realizing that. And I think a lot of people out there aren't realizing that the exposure that they're facing when it comes to this gap.
Mhm.
And it's one of the things we encourage at the association is take yourself seriously, take your health seriously, and anybody can get injured. And this is why you need to be like really start exploring some of these options when it comes to just discovering, especially accident benefit insurance.
Mhm.
So, what are some of the primary ways? Excuse me, Andy. What are some of the primary ways that accident insurance benefits are going to help? So, WSIB or not, let's just say I get accident benefit insurance, and I know we have an excellent. I wonder if we should tell the story, the anecdote or the testimonial first, but they relate. What are the five areas that you tend to see or we tend to get most for our membership?
Yeah, exactly. So the five key benefits that are provided under the accident insurance program are if you are too injured to work, it provides a monthly cash benefit, following a covered accident, right? When you're either in the hospital, you've got a fracture, serious burns, lacerations, and cannot do what you normally do, it can provide a monthly benefit for up to 7 months per accident.
Okay.
Right. So
Wow.
this is that stopgap. It'll, help pay the bills and keep you going.
Yeah.
The other one, second benefit provides loss of life, limb, or more importantly, loss of use coverage. So it's
What is
financial
that?
protection,
Right.
when we do have a serious accidental loss. I mean, death, there's no coming back from that. And sometimes bad things happen to good people. But what I've heard from PSWs is, what if I'm involved in a violent altercation,
Yeah.
right? What if I get injured to the point where I can no longer use my arm or my leg, right? So that would provide a lump sum cash benefit to get you through that period.
And it's
The,
an excellent
the
point. Yeah, because PSWs can get injured extremely quickly on the job, and there are no repercussions, or at least no recourse. So that's an excellent. Thank you for saying that. It's a good one.
Exactly. Third benefit covers fractures.
Yes.
Break a bone, get cash benefits in your pocket. Big bones get a lot of money. Little bones, and I've heard from PSWs, even a broken pinky means, you know what, you can no longer help
Oh,
someone
good.
transfer
Absolutely.
effectively, right? So would a little cash in your pocket help if you broke your pinky? Right? Fourth benefit are recovery benefits that help pay for the things that provincial healthcare doesn't.
So what doesn't that provincial healthcare pay for in recovery? So I'm assuming it pays for everything. I'm not.
Well, let me give you an example, right? You break a bone, break an
Right.
arm or a leg, you go to the hospital, you know, they after a very long wait, they eventually patch you up with
Mhm.
a plaster cast.
Yep.
Guess what happens after about 20 minutes in a plaster cast? Oh gosh, you start itching, right?
Oh, yes.
So something like a fiberglass cast, would be covered. Something like your own support or physio or medical equipment, whatever is required to help you get better after an accident that is not covered, right? would be covered.
So yeah, that's an interesting point though, because the hospital will give you a cast and it will provide you with care. But if you need specific care or want something more, and be honest, and especially if you're in recovery with a broken limb,
Mhm.
you don't want to be scratching. We all know the horror stories from the 80s when
E-
losing things and scratching.
Exactly.
It's I yes, I know.
And even to the extreme, what happens when a PSW who is injured needs their own PSW?
Excellent point.
Right? So that's an example of something that could be covered. So anything required to help someone get better following an accident. That was the fourth one. And last one, hospital and convalescent benefits are covered. It's daily cash in your pocket when you are in hospital or convalescing.
Okay.
Right? So again, most people have to take out a small mortgage to pay for parking and food and all that when they're in the hospital. Imagine you're in that situation. Um, you know, who pays that?
It's a lot. It adds
Right?
up
So
fast. It does.
money in your pocket for potentially up to 700 days in the worst case. So imagine that
Wow.
almost 2 years of benefit, and it doesn't have to be used strictly for, whatever out of pocket expenses you have at the hospital. It's just a cash benefit for each day you are in hospital or convalescent.
So if I was in the hospital then and I get this cash benefit, then I could e-transfer it to someone, say, can you buy me X or you can buy yourself something.
Well, exactly.
Theoretically, like,
And you know what? Let's go into a real life example,
sure.
right? So those five benefits, here's how it actually helped. A PSW who uh, slipped at home, right? Not at the
Yeah.
workplace, at home,
Yes.
fractured her ankle in three places.
That's not good.
Now, what happened? Ambulance took her to the hospital. Within 4 or 5 days of being in the hospital, they finally scheduled her for surgery. First surgery did not work, right? The ankle bones were just too broken, and what they thought would fix it and take it didn't. So wait another week and a half, still in hospital, until they finally put three pins in there to do that, and a nice big plaster cast. Right now, guess what happened? First of all, she wasn't working. Soon as she broke her ankle, there was no way she was going to be working. The landlord wasn't going to stop her rent checks. Her family that depended on her still needed the monthly income that she would normally send out of country to help support, but right. And all those monthly bills, they weren't waiting. They just kept sort of adding up. So for the time that she was not able to work, which actually turned out to be about 5 months,
Well,
right? Single
yeah.
PSW, they wouldn't let her go home, right, until everything healed properly. So she was in rehab for the better part of 4 months. How this helped her was paid her $1,400 a month, right, just to be able to continue with an income
Yeah.
because she had a fracture and couldn't work. Paid her for the fracture. Again, a cash benefit that just went into her bank account within 5 business days of the accident, right?
Okay.
Her
Amazing.
emergency attending physician just sent us a picture of the or the X-ray rather of the broken ankle, signed a
Yeah.
few forms. She had money within five days. Now her eligible recovery expenses. So this was a nice fiberglass cast. She needed a walker. She needed physio. She needed, some other things that were required to help her get better. The cost of some medication was covered, and she also got a daily benefit, cash in her pocket, for about 5 months when she was in hospital or convalescent, right? And that helped her pay the bills and just keep everything going. And very interesting, Ian. Um, Recovery has as much to do with good medical care as good nutrition.
Yes.
And, in a government-run facility, the food wasn't that great. So the biggest treat that she had was ordering DoorDash from some of her
Yes.
favorite restaurants,
Why not? It's
right?
part of the spirit. It keeps you happy and keeps you content.
And you know what, Ian, was it worth about $3 a day for this PSW to set the coverage up in advance? Well,
Well, I'm amazed PSWs don't have, like, a lot of PSWs don't think they need this. And I think this is what's important about this conversation.
mhm,
This happened on her own time.
yes,
So if I was in an employer situation and she didn't have enough sick days, those sick days burn out and eventually we can't pay her. Like there's nothing else to be done. We have to they get a leave of absence or something to that effect, or
exactly.
you're
And
off fire. They don't fire you, but
no,
the employer can't pay you for work that you're doing unless there's some sort of special provision in a specific contract, which there really isn't. The duty to accommodate does have limits. So
it it it,
that's
it does, and WSIB would not have helped in this case.
exactly.
And if it had happened at work, just put a question mark whether WSIB would help or not. We don't know. There's a process there, forms and all of that. We don't know, how they will assess it. Whereas even those PSWs who are covered under WSIB, the accident insurance program is completely independent
Exactly.
and
Yes.
can drop money in a family's pocket within 5 business days. And if they are successful with a WSIB claim, that's just extra.
Exactly.
But this thing could look after first. And Ian, it's interesting. We're talking not only to individual PSWs, but those PSWs who have formed PSW teams,
Yes.
right? Where they have three, four, or five independent PSWs who, work under that umbrella. We've also talked to owners and operators of nursing homes and other care facilities where, um, you know, quite often the PSWs who are hired are casual part-time because owners do not want to provide benefits. And on top of that, those PSWs are working, you know, jobs elsewhere, right? Caring for other people just to make ends meet. Now, for those employer PSWs, right? You've made a promise to the families of the people under your care, meaning you're going to have enough staff to be able to care for the grandmas and grandpas under your care. What happens when that casual part-time PSW, right, breaks a leg and now can't report for work? Right? Can you fulfill the promises you've made to the people who have entrusted their grandmas and grandpas in your care? Or are you left scrambling trying to find someone to, now do a double shift or a triple shift just to keep that continuity of care? So I want to draw the attention here to employers, right? Whether it's, facilities or those PSWs that have got two, three, four, however many PSWs as part of a team.
Yeah.
We understand, budgets are tight and we're not expecting them to pick up the cost of this. But what if you could make the PSWs who, are working for you in that capacity aware of this benefit?
Oh, I think that's a good.
Right? So that if something happens, do you think that if they didn't have to worry about paying the bills and getting stressed out over that, they might return to work sooner if they had this kind of benefit,
One would
right?
think. One would think they would.
One
You know,
one would think they would.
but that's the thing. We have a lot of the PSWs are, and this is the issue that we deal with as an
Mhm,
association, is trying to get to every PSW, telling them that this is available.
mhm.
Like most people have insurance. You have car insurance before you drive. Some people have rental insurance. Like, there's tons of
That
it.
help that helps other people. This accident insurance
Yeah,
helps the
well
PSW.
said.
This protects everything you work so hard for, and it's about $3 a day to protect everything that you have put into becoming a PSW,
Now I can
right?
hear people saying, "I can't afford $3 a day. It's important. It's impossible." I understand that, and I think having seen the number of PSWs that we've dealt with in an
Mm,
association, that we try to help navigate post-injury situations without insurance or on very minimal insurance. The situations that they're in
Mm.
are would be completely different than someone who has the accident benefit insurance.
It
Um,
is. It is.
it's night and day. So we, as the association, always encourage members to, of course, to get, of course, professional liability insurance is important. But when you're working, and even if you do or do not have WSIB, you're exposing yourself to risk. Now, we already know, like between 2020 and 2025, there was over 40,000 PSW injuries, according to the WSIB alone, which we recently published in a report about this, which is PSWs are the most dangerous. Now, we here at the association, we often say it's the second most dangerous, and after reviewing it, it's actually the most dangerous.
Mhm.
So it's the most dangerous and most injurious employment field in Ontario. Yet many PSWs continue to throw caution to the wind, I
Yeah.
think, and saying, or and unintentionally so. Like
Yeah.
we think we're protected. I'm in Canada. If I don't work, someone else will pay my bills. And it's like, no, you're on your own. You
Mhm.
could become homeless. This is
And,
very the reality.
and especially for those wonderful PSWs that we've gotten to know
Especially,
over
yes.
the years who have only been in Canada for, 2, 3, 4 years,
Yeah.
right? And, they quite often will not qualify for the Canada Pension Plan disability benefits because they haven't,
Been here long enough.
logged in enough time. And, sadly, what's the default? It's GoFundMe.
It is that is the default. Is literally the GoFundMe thing for people, and
And
it,
might be good for a couple of bucks, but I encourage anyone. There's actually a section on GoFundMe that is healthcare related, right? People who find themselves after sickness or injury in a position where they, can't pay the bills, and they're trying to raise money off of that. And interestingly, accident insurance is like the most basic kind of GoFundMe because you're paying about $3 a day, right?
yes, you're right. Yeah,
Chipping
you
in.
are.
And when something happens to someone in the pool of people who are also chipping in, right? There's a claim that gets paid.
Well, exactly, and I have this too through you as well. Like I just for the benefit of this webinar, I also have accident benefit insurance
Mm,
through Andy, and it's because of that exact reason. I don't know.
mm.
I went through a lot of reasons with you, Andy. Your brain injury, falling off the ladders. The ladder apparently scares me. I'm going to admit, I never go up them. But yeah, I think these are things that PSWs don't think about. You people rely on you, especially when, and this is a largely a world dominated by women,
Yeah.
and very selfless people. A lot of times, I find, especially PSWs are extremely selfless. Like
It,
they give and give and give, and yet when it comes to saying you need to take care of yourself, you need to keep hold of it back to make sure you can still be in that role. And um, I empathize. Like they really, a lot of PSWs we deal with are overwhelmed.
yeah.
Um, but I think this is a way of saying, I know you're overwhelmed, but you need to have some insurance. You need to have some protection. You need to not be
It,
throwing.
it comes down to if not you, who,
Exactly right.
right?
And that's exactly the whole point. And why we value this partnership so much is because it's such a necessary thing and such an important a resource for our members to have. And for anyone out there, for the record, that wants to talk to Andy, not just PSWs, it's all over. But um, please feel free to reach
Now,
out to more in truth. Go
so
ahead.
how easy is it? Like,
Yeah, let's talk about before we're
is
going to wrap up in a few seconds. But tell me about how easy it is. Like what
excellent. So very important to know here. This is available to PSWs and their families, right? We have
Yes.
stay-at-home spouses, retired spouses, kids
Yep.
taking advantage of it. So from 0 to age 74 and anywhere in between. Three
Awesome.
conditions. Number one, you're covered under provincial healthcare coverage. So that's OHIP here in Ontario. You
All
have
right.
been in Canada for at least 12 months,
Okay.
right? And you're not currently totally disabled. That's it. Those are the three criteria. Now, the good news is there is no medical. This is guaranteed acceptance, right?
Very
And you
important.
can do
Yes.
this all in a 15-minute phone call or a virtual meeting like this. Okay.
Yep.
Also, claims are paid. The accident insurance claims are paid within 5 business days, right? Once the insurance company gets,
Really good.
again, the snapshot of the broken leg. And also, this is available. We're proud to serve PSWs and their families in Ontario and also Alberta.
Alberta, yes. So remember, we do have some members in Alberta. So if you're listening in Alberta, definitely reach out to Andy. You will need this insurance, even despite the CLPA HA insurance you currently have. But this is also an additional thing you might want to look into as well. It is vital to have
Mhm,
this.
mhm.
Um, yeah. So yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Andy. I cut you off. So I
Yeah,
apologize.
no, not at all. So this is the accident and insurance program. Now, other OPSWA member benefits. So on the OPSWA portal,
Yeah.
and again available for Ontario or Alberta PSWs are extended healthcare benefits
So
as well,
let's talk
right?
about because
So
please tell us about those. Right. Yeah.
Exactly. So accident insurance covers accidents. The extended healthcare covers everything from dental to out of pocket expenses, even could be from an accident or illness. It covers things that PSWs have told us are so very important
We've
is
heard this too. Yeah.
you know what, physiotherapy, massage therapy. There's an online drugstore resource. So we know PSWs are very busy. If you need a prescription, well, number one, you can see a doctor or healthcare practitioner online in under an hour. So guess what? You don't have to wait 2 weeks to see your own family doctor. You can get one booked in as little as an hour. If they prescribe a prescription, that can go to the digital pharmacy, and there's delivery service as well. Imagine that,
It's amazing.
right? Them coming to see you. Um, also very important psychological counseling as well
Huge.
is included. Virtually, of course, virtual physiotherapy, right? To help
Really?
with those
That's a good idea.
occupational.
I've never thought of that. That's awesome.
And the best part is there are plans available that cover pre-existing conditions.
That's good to know.
Right? Most
Yes.
people think that because, they've got a health issue or they're already on some type of medication that they, be disqualified otherwise. No, there is coverage available for that, as well as for, people who want to answer some medical questions online. They can get a broader range of coverage, but the point is coverage is available for people who've already got some health issues going on, and it may also be tax deductible as well, the premium as well, just like your OPSWA
Yeah.
membership,
Yes.
right? The premiums for your extended health care may also be tax deductible. Just consult with your bookkeeper or an accountant,
It would,
whoever does that for you.
especially if you're self-employed, this would be considered it could be considered an expense for
Yeah.
operating a business
So
to protect it.
go on to the OPSWA portal. All the information is there. You can very easily get a quote for yourself, your family, as well. And this is available exclusively to OPSWA members without medical.
Oh,
That's the big plus here.
that's true, wonderful. So we'd always appreciate our exclusive options for our membership, which are amazing people. And yeah, so everyone listening, for everyone who tunes into this, and we're going to continue to be promoting this. Uh, you really need to look at having this benefit. This is an extremely from our findings with our work with our membership. They're tired, they're overworked. The more tired and overworked you become, the more prone you are to accidents, especially when
Yes.
you're off work. And I know I'm right on that, Andy's my guess. I'm taking a guess.
Yes.
I pulled that out of thin air, but it's what happens. So you come home and you're tired from work. If you don't have this, and I'm just thinking of de-stressing as part of mental health element. You
Yes.
buy this and it takes one element off your life. You know you can rely on something. That's how I see this. And
Ian, peace of mind equals a better quality of life. When you know you've at least got something in
really does.
place on the accident side or to cover those day-to-day drug and dental costs, you know what? You can go out there with confidence and, keep doing what you're doing now. You can't prevent, every accident or illness, but PSWs, you can decide what happens financially after such an event. So
Yeah.
would that be worth knowing how to do before or after something happens? Right? And
Before.
that and that
Yeah,
and
no, exactly right. Yeah.
that's exactly what we do. And Ian, I also encourage any PSW employer, whether
Yes.
formal or informal, get in touch because this is something that can also take some liability off your shoulders as an employer, right?
Excellent point.
Because you know what, the first time something happens, someone gets sick or injured, they're going to go to the employer. The first question they're going to ask is, do we have anything that covers this?
Exactly. And
And
usually,
if the answer is no, well, why not? So wouldn't it feel better if you are an employer to at least give the information to the PSW so you can check off, yes, I've given the information, and then it's up to the PSW to decide whether or not it makes sense for them. But as the employer, you know what? You're taking that one extra step. You've made them aware so that you're limiting your liability if someone ever comes back to you and says, "Wow, you know what? I didn't know about this. I should have known about this."
you're right.
And just it's a can of worms
Well,
from
I
there.
think that's how everything in our world works, Andy. And the
Mm,
truth of it is that you're given opportunities, you're provided resources. You either take advantage of them or don't. If you don't, and there's a consequence, then you pay for the consequence.
exactly.
It's the way, or it's human history. It's always been this way. Will always be this way. So,
Yeah.
reinforcing that point, PSWs, members of OPSWA, you need to take charge of yourselves, and really, again, you can't prevent every accident, and you can't, and especially if you're tired.
Mm,
A lot of people rely on our members. A lot of people, families, communities, hospitals, long-term care homes, missing any injury the impact of any injury is multiple fold once that
mm.
person is injured. So we do encourage you to look into this and try to uh, make sure you get some coverage for this as well. Andy, is there anything else you want? You've been great today. I really appreciate you taking the time and coming and talk to everyone.
Hey, my pleasure. Great
So
spending time with
we're
you and supporting the association and the members that do so much for us.
agreed, and we appreciate it. This is going to be continuing on our page. We're going to have it here, and there's going to be links in the description to how to get in touch with Andy and anything you need to know for more information. If you have questions, the Mr. Kovac, the kind Mr. Kovac, will absolutely answer them for you. He's a fountain of knowledge, and we learned a lot from our
Thank
partnership.
you so much, Ian.
And Andy, again, let's thank our friends at WSIB. This is not an attack on WSIB. This is we need to help WSIB extend coverage. They can't do everything. It takes a village, and we all have to
It's
do this together.
it's taking responsibility for oneself.
And we always have been responsible for ourselves,
Exactly.
and this is where we need to communicate. So, to all new PSW graduates who are just starting out, please look at this. This is serious. You're young, and you need to be prepared.
Exactly. And you know what? On the topic of grads, we actually see a lot of grads contacting us as well,
Yeah.
coming out of their colleges and their training. And again, this is protecting all the sweat equity that you've put into your studies. You think about that, right? You insure your car, as Ian said, or your apartment or your home. That protects everyone else,
Well,
right? This protects that investment you made.
especially PSWs that are looking, and you're right, Andy, I can't
Mm,
argue that that's completely correct. But even to further that point, you're a
mm,
PSW, let's just say you're a PSW with the intention of becoming a nurse,
mm,
and you have an injury suddenly. You don't have insurance. You're suddenly financially in a major precarious position. Those career plans are now really derailed,
mm.
right? So you really need to think about, okay, I need to maintain health so I can get to the next stage and life. So I really encourage members and any PSWs, if not you're a member of the association, please consider joining the association. There's lots of benefits, including being a part of our great community with Andy and likewise. So, um, Andy, we'll have another one of these if there's any. I know we have some other updates coming in the next few
Yep.
months. So,
Exciting
this will
ones
be the
for
last
sure.
one.
Yeah.
And so this will be going up. This will be live when people see this. And uh, Andy, I appreciate you taking the time today.
Thank you,
Great
Ian.
speaking with
Pleasure to
you.
be here. Okay.
All right. Have a great one, sir.
Bye,
Take care.
everyone.